Hello everybody, SpiderDude101 here, and today we're watching this guy named Nick DiGiovanni, and I'm here with Ingram. Ingram, say hi.
Hi.
And actually, give me 1 second. That did not fix it. Okay. Anyway, I'm here with Ingram, and oops. We watched this video a couple weeks back. It was this Tsukoki miso ramen. All right, and we had very mixed emotions about it. So I thought we should watch this 60-day butter-aged wagyu from this guy.
That's
He's
what
a really
you see
good...
when you get in hell.
Yeah, exactly. He's a very good chef. He's a very good young Italian chef, and of course, y'all know I'm Italian, so I relate to this guy. So let's watch it.
I'm not.
We all love wagyu, and boy, oh boy, do I have something special today. I always feel bad talking about it for so long and just making you wait. I kind of just want to drag it right on screen right now and show you. But what I have today is truly something special. I was lucky enough to visit Hokkaido, Japan several years ago. The food there was the best I've ever had anywhere in the world. And what's exciting to me is that the piece of wagyu we have today comes directly from Hokkaido, Japan. It's about 10 pounds and it is special. What we have here is an A5 Japanese Wagyu Hokkaido strip loin. And this thing is pretty big. But what's really amazing to me is that marbling that you can already see through the plastic without even taking it off. I mean, just spinning it around to the other side, letting you look at how...
Hold on for a second, dude. I thought that was the steak.
Oh.
Beautiful this thing is. I myself can't help but start to salivate at the thought of eating this. To portion it off, you slice it across this way, getting nice cuts just like this.
That's the thickest piece of meat I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
And I love my girlfriend.
In a restaurant for something like this too. Irish series. I get it from the Wagyu shop that sends me this from Japan. Again,
the
I'm not
Wagyu
paid
shop.
To tell you
Yeah,
about this
just
at all,
casually from the
I'm literally
Wagyu
just telling you
shop.
where I'm sourcing my Wagyu. And the truth is, buying a nice piece in bulk like this is a heck of a lot better than buying small pieces, in my opinion. That is, if you're actually going to be able to eat this much. Perhaps even more exciting than the actual Wagyu itself is what we're gonna do with it today. Well, I shouldn't say today, because it's gonna take 2 months. 60 days. We're gonna butter age it, and we're gonna do that, of course, by making homemade butter.
Can we talk about this for a second? Look at his eyes. They're so green. They're weirdly green. Are you still there?
Amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Allowing it to rest in the fridge for those 60 days to really develop more flavor. Then we'll come back, sear it up, and talk about what it tastes like. So let's make that butter. Now, butter is very simple to make. All you're doing is adding a bunch of heavy cream or heavy whipping cream into a big mixer until it reaches whipped cream and actually goes past that stage. Because we actually need so much butter here, I'm going to do this in 2 separate stages. So to start, I'm simply going to close this down and let it go. So it's going to eventually reach this whipped cream phase where it starts to actually obviously...
Dang, got a little too excited there.
Damn, that's what Sunday night looks like.
So as you watch here, it's going to slowly start to sort of curdle a little bit. And we're going to get to a point where we've over-whipped it. Basically where we've turned it into sort of curds and whey. So in watching this, you're actually watching 2 processes. One is how to make butter, the other actually how to make buttermilk. You're going to start to see it turn a little bit yellow. And
I kind of wish he had an overhead
camera.
camera.
And then our buttermilk seeping out of that butter. We're sort of agitating it.
Huh?
Do those exist?
Yeah, overhead cameras. You just have a camera facing down.
Oh, I thought you said like a cover.
No. Yeah, just like a camera facing into the bowl so we can see what he's talking about.
Over mixing it, and as it spins, it gets
I want to see you make that butter, baby.
Yeah, it's weird. You can see like the curds forming.
And more yellow in here. And then it'll start spraying me because that buttermilk is essentially the consistency of water and will splat.
I love it when my butter sprays
here,
me.
We finally reached the butter stage. But we'll continue mixing for just a second to let it.
Yeah, I love it when my butter sprays me, don't you?
We have our butter and our buttermilk very, very separated.
Dude, that looks disgusting. Dude.
And if I reach in here and just grab a big clump of that butter, you can see how simple that is. And I can tell you right now, if you were to just eat
that
this
looks
with a little bit of salt in there,
like
it'd
a
be the
piece of butter, all right.
That actually looks kind of
butter
good.
you've ever had. After quite some time,
I would not put that in my mouth.
I wouldn't.
And we're gonna wait until it's all clumped up around the whisk attachment.
Did you ever like put a stick of butter in your mouth?
Oh, dude, that just looks like fungus, doesn't it?
How much money you want for you to drink that water?
Dude, it's just buttermilk, but like It just looks like sewer water, dude.
See there that all the butter is clumped up around this one area. Now, our next step is to press out the remaining buttermilk. Now, the main thing we're doing at this point in the process is spanking.
Now that looks good. There. Kinda.
Butter.
How much money for you to eat that?
Bro,
Don't spank your butter.
You basically want to spank out all of the buttermilk. So what I'm going to do is move a little bit by bit at a time in batches over to our finalized butter bowl right here. And when I do this, I'm just going to press it out really well with my hands and with my wooden spoon.
Dude, I swear.
Each time I pick up some of this butter and squeeze it, you're going to see that a bunch of buttermilk still drips out of it. And our goal here is to get out all of that buttermilk. I'm going to knead my butter now like I would a piece of bread. Spanking it and pressing out all of that buttermilk. Butter, what?
Dude,
what have
you can
done?
see how his shirt's getting wetter and wetter.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to like mute every time I'm not speaking because my brother
Once that
is
butter's
being
done, we're
annoying
gonna get a
again.
nice piece of parchment and lay the butter down across the parchment paper. This,
a
of
big
course,
thing
is
of
the step
butter.
in the process where we're gonna be coating this entire piece of beef in that amazing butter. First,
Is he
flatten it out
making
on the bottom
pizza? Is
and
he
make
gonna
a
put
nice wall
sauce
on
and
the
cheese?
bottom
Yeah,
of
right?
that
Doesn't
meat
look
to
like
rest.
dough.
Then, once it's got a nice space
Yeah,
to
it
rest
looks
on,
like
I'll
dough.
flip this upside down and smack it down. We can't forget
What?
to take off this piece of paper that soaks up all
And
that
then
moisture.
he just
on the
leaves it with the plastic on.
Oh, yeah, right? He just bites into it. Wait a second.
Then we're simply gonna wrap up the sides
That's like
and
the
smooth
time
that
my
butter
grandma made me a sandwich and like left it like the cheese, like the plastic wrapping on the cheese.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, gross.
that soaks up all that moisture.
Hold
the
on,
meat.
listen.
Then we're simply gonna wrap up the sides and smooth that butter all the way around this beef.
That's not wrapping. That's putty.
That's spreading.
Seriously looks so cool. And it's definitely one of the more unique things I've done in this kitchen. So I'm happy to have you
Yeah, no
here
kidding.
watching and experimenting on this with me. I mean, think about how cool
Yeah,
it
I've
is that
never
you get to hang
covered
out right
meat with
alongside
butter
me for all
before.
these culinary
Yeah, really.
adventures. It's an absolute pleasure to
Who
have
has?
you. We'll continue
I mean him, obviously.
to have you here watching and experimenting on this with me. I mean, think about how cool it is that you get to hang out right alongside me for all these culinary adventures. It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
Hence, I
We'll
would not
continue
want to be
pressing all
beside
this
you while
butter,
you were
making
making
sure
the
it's flush
ramen.
up
Yeah.
against this beef until there's a thick and even coating,
ramen's
almost like
delicious.
frosting. I mean, it would make sense that
Yeah,
the butter
I
looks
don't
butter.
like
it
the-
does look like frosting.
I would not put that on my cake.
Dude, imagine if you freaking got someone a cake and they sliced into it. It's just a whole freaking hunk of meat.
Oh god, that's disgusting.
Oh, dude.
Especially because
Dude,
buttercream is made
Imagine if you like ordered like ramen on a restaurant and then you like peeked into the kitchen and he's just like spanking the meat.
butter. Once this is all coated, we place this in the fridge for 60 days. I might look a little different by then, so I'll see you when I see ya. Now,
I think if you cover me in butter and put me in a fridge, it'll also get dry.
Out of the fridge, and I'm gonna run over there and do it right now. In fact, I can't wait. But one really fast thing before I do that, please go right down and
Is
toss
this
a little like
sponsored?
on the video. I'll explain more why later, but it helps. It's finally come. We've been waiting 60 days for
What
this.
is that
This right
black?
here is a 60-day.
Oh, wait.
Tap that like button. Y'all set? If so, let me grab that wagyu. The time has finally come.
Oh, what is that? I mean, it's so smooth, but... Oh, whoopsies. What? Huh? Oh. I forgot I had that.
Dude, that looks like molasses.
Yeah, really? It's like,
We've been waiting 60 days for this. This right here is a 60-day butter-aged Wagyu. And again, it's crazy how much time has passed. I mean, we've been waiting for this thing for so incredibly
months.
long. You can see that that butter is almost
oh, there's
cracked.
something oozing off. It's
A little bit of those beautiful red
It's
juices
like,
are flowing through this
molasses.
thing.
beautiful red juice. Bruh, what do you mean beautiful red juices? There's no red juices that are beautiful unless it's fruit punch.
That looks like veins. If I
Yeah,
look at my
really.
if I look at my butter and it has like veins, I'm not eating it.
Nope.
Here I see a hole where it's dripped out. And on the other side, I can see that some of it has actually caked up here. Eat it. Eat it or you're fine.
That is disgusting.
But there's one thing that I've
Oh,
been
dude,
waiting
my
for
body's
for
actually
very
repulsed by that.
long. And unfortunately, I have to do it off camera. Cut the cameras for a second. I gotta stop it. I said cut the camera. To start, I'm gonna peel all of that wrap off the bottom.
Oh, come on, you gotta.
This thing
Oh,
is
you gotta show us the
extraordinarily
full.
slick. To start, I want to slice
The
it
butter
right down
is
the middle. to not
bleeding.
keep you waiting. And I can't even use my special old fancy Japanese knife. No, I'm gonna use this bad boy. So, to start, I'm gonna slice right down the center of this Wagyu. I'm gonna be honest, it's harder to cut through than Wagyu normally is. And frankly, that's no shocker to me. I'm sure that the butter aging has made it quite tough inside at some parts.
Dude.
But I'll push and ease that knife all the way through to cut this clean off. Interestingly,
you gotta admit, that's a clean cut. That was really satisfying to watch.
enough, I'm hearing some rather strange crunching sounds from here, and the smell is actually quite pungent. But it looks like we've chopped through it. So without further ado, let's open this bad boy.
If your butter is crunching, I think you might want to start asking questions.
Yeah, really. It looks the same.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's got mold.
Eat it.
Oh, what the?
If you shop on Amazon,
now it's time to take off that butter. So I'm going to start by seeing what I can actually just peel off by myself. Because really this butter is just a great big crust. As you can see, some of these pieces I can just take off.
That is repulsing.
You can definitely try to save the butter if you want. Although it does probably
Dude,
get
no! Why would you want to save that?
No. Imagine,
Butter
you
on
like
my
go
toast.
to like your local like organic foods, and you're like, hey, can I have a fresh stick of butter? And they're like, do you want the butter with or without the crust?
No.
You may not necessarily want to eat, so I'll let you make that decision yourself. I'll flip this piece around and peel off this massive piece on the top too. It's actually quite nice that it comes off this easily. But when it starts to get really funky and
Dude, that looks disgusting. It looks like it still has the plastic on it.
He's gonna eat that. Maybe it is.
cool is when you look at the top.
He's gonna eat
As
that.
you can see, clearly it aged in from the outside, which is what we expect. And when I eventually flip it over, this whole top here is a funky color, and we're gonna want to carve some of this off. I'm gonna peel off this last section here, noticing that pattern that we get on that homemade butter, as well as some of those weird colors that we get, clearly that have come right off this meat. And then we have our first hunk of butter aged meat, which if you look carefully, and if we compare this to the start, when this wasn't coated in butter and hadn't been aged, clearly it's a different color. For now, I'm gonna set this aside and bring this other piece in, doing the same exact process to this one here.
No.
Once that second piece is done,
No,
it's time
it's
to
not.
trim it up. Like I said, we need to take off those
I mean, this looks different, but this just doesn't look different
bits
at
on the
all.
bottom that you see there. Mainly really just trim down this part because we don't want to eat this. And
Yeah,
find any
I
other
wouldn't
rancid
think
bits
so.
that are going to be a little bit too moldy or blue cheesy or exotic for us to taste. I'll start with the easiest section here by trimming off a nice little bit from the bottom. And when you see this, don't worry. None of this is going to go to waste because we can reduce down a bunch of this fat and use it for anything else. It's more just that we don't want to eat any meat that's kind of gone bad. Before I go further, take a good hard look at that mark. That's
saves
something that
fat?
you can never see anywhere else. This is
Yeah, who saves fat?
Japanese Wagyu at
Oh,
its
well,
finest.
I
Now,
don't
definitely
eat
still
red
see
meat,
some bits
so-
right here, so I'm gonna come down with my knife and cut off this corner right here. Again, you can hopefully tell that this isn't necessarily
That
Eat that
actually
raw
look-
right now.
That looks really
Eat that
cool.
raw. Right now. Eat it
No
raw.
balls.
Didn't
something
he
you wanna
eat like
eat.
some pork belly like raw?
No.
We definitely want to follow the edge when we trim here because we have some color up along the side. So I'll start at an angle with my knife and come right around the edge of our piece of Wagyu. It looks here as if I want to trim just a little bit more off, but at that point, it looks nice and clean here. Now, in terms of the fat cap, that probably did a pretty good job protecting the meat over those 2 months, but I am just gonna
fat cap? That just sounds gross.
trim just a little bit of this off regardless.
Fat
I don't
cap?
need that much fat.
Oh, that sounds repulsing.
Anyways. And now for these corners and edges that still look a little bit off, we're just gonna go ahead and do some finishing touches. And now that I've finished trimming, I want to show you what it looks like with the final loss all piled
He's
next
gonna
to it.
eat what's on the
Obviously,
left.
some of these pieces have gone way too far. And these I may toss away. Others, however, are definitely perfectly okay
shiny
to
ass
render off the
fingers filled
fat.
with,
And
like,
who
that
doesn't
old
love some
fat.
Wagyu fat on just about anything? Now, as for this beautiful bad boy, it still leaves us with plenty of beef to work with, and this is
Beautiful is a strong word for that hunk of meat.
only the half.
Accurate.
So let's do the same with that other piece. While we wait for that Wagyu
Stop
in the fridge for
spanking the meat.
just about anything.
You
Now,
spanked
as for
the
this
meat.
beautiful bad boy, it still leaves us with plenty of beef to work with, and this is only the half of it. So let's do the same with that other piece. Fridge for just a moment so it can firm up again before we cut it, because as you know, Wagyu is a lot of fat. I'm going to start with a little bit of vinegar into our boiling water, which helps so that the whites of the eggs don't run if they crack open while boiling. And then I have a nice selection of beautiful farm fresh eggs that I'm going to slowly drop into our boiling water, one at a time so that they don't crack. I'm sure
That
many
one's
people
wait,
already
that
know
one's
this,
already
but in
cracked. What do you mean? Wait.
while boiling. And then I have a nice selection of beautiful farm fresh eggs that I'm going to slowly drop into our boiling water. One at a time.
That one's cracked right there. Did you see it?
Selection of beautiful farm fresh eggs that I'm going to slowly drop into our boiling water. One
There. See? It's cracked.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like cracked.
at a time so that they don't crack. I'm sure many people already know this, but a
There it has a crack too. See? Either that or it's just pot.
nice soft-boiled egg
No,
yolk
it's
goes
not.
really,
See, the
really
white's coming
well
out.
with a good old piece of wagyu.
He's
or
lying.
It looks like we already got our example for
See?
a running yolk, but as you can see, it doesn't go all over the place. It sticks to the egg. That's what the vinegar does. For now, these eggs are going to go for about 6 minutes and 9 seconds. And I know, it's a silly time, but I showed you the same thing in my ramen video. And did that not turn out perfectly? While those eggs are going,
6
let's make a
minutes
quick
and 9
ice bath,
seconds.
which will prepare us for the
6
moment they're
minutes.
done, because this is a time-sensitive thing. Soft-boiled eggs are no joke, people. At this point, we're ready to take out those eggs, so drop them immediately into that ice bath. You know, funnily enough, I stole these eggs from my roommate, and usually he's the one stealing food from me. So it was really nice to see a change in the dynamic for this time around. Like I said, that vinegar trick works pretty well, huh? At this point, let those eggs cool down for a while. As long as they've halted cooking, we're good. Now, it looks like we're ready to cut into these bad boys. I'm gonna set this first one aside because the way I wanna cook this is the way I like to cook Wagyu most of the time, in nice cubes. First, I'm gonna go ahead and slice down right through the middle of
That's
this
not
piece.
steak.
This will give us
That's
two
just like
nice
meat
hunks
cubes.
of Wagyu, which give an absolutely stunning shot. And I have to say, it looks a tad bit... Are you laughing?
Toss.
You're actually
Toss.
fired. Like, don't touch it.
No,
Don't
go
touch
back.
that.
Dude,
And now
go back
I'm
and
gonna
toss.
cut it into nice
Go back and toss.
absolute right through the middle of this piece. This will give us two nice hunks of Wagyu, which give an absolutely stunning shot. And I have to
Toss. Right there.
That's a stunning shot right there.
That's a questionable piece of meat.
say it looks a tad bit... Are you
That
laughing?
that ass looks like
You're
a pair
actually
of
fired.
cheeks.
Like, don't touch it. Don't touch that.
Bruh, even the cameraman knows.
And
Dude.
now I'm gonna cut it into nice cubes, making absolutely sure that they're all very similar in size. To me, there's just no better way to cook Wagyu than cutting it into nice perfect cubes, because it allows you to have really nice
would
control
say
over
otherwise.
Ah, meat cubes.
every single piece you're cooking. And now once they're all cut into nice
Minecraft
cubes, I'm
newest
gonna hit it with a
block
little
meat
bit of my
block.
flaky salt, which again, we're gonna have available in limited quantities really soon. And then I'll roll these cubes all the way around in that salt. Salt is the only thing we need to use when seasoning this Wagyu. All that butter aged flavor is gonna really speak for itself. And there's no need to ruin
would
that
say
by putting
pepper,
all sorts
because
of
I put
seasoning,
pepper
because
on
this
everything.
Wagyu, it has
you're
the
Puerto
seasoning.
Rican.
They almost now look like we've covered them in Sour Patch Kid dust,
That-
but they're ready
how
to cook.
dare
And
you.
now I'll crank up the heat on my carbon steel pan, and if I want to, I can very lightly kiss it with some of that Wagyu fat that we tossed aside.
What the?
And
Why?
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 Use olive oil, you
steel pan,
plebeian.
and if I want to, I can very
Heathen.
lightly kiss it with some of that Wagyu fat
Dude,
that we
what
tossed
the-
aside. And then we
That's
sear
like
our
out of
Wagyu
Cold
cubes.
War, like
Why?
when people used to.
And once
That's
we've
just-
achieved
no.
that beautiful golden brown crust,
Stop
we'll
it.
flip
Like-
them over. Now we'll
That's
leave
like
these
out of
again
the
for a
Cold
few
War
minutes
with
on this
people
side
used
until
to
they're
lard.
complete.
That's
Now,
oil.
Stop it. Get some help.
these are done cooking because they are butter aged. I
That
do
is
want to
not
add a
done
little bit
cooking.
of butter to these.
That is pink.
That's. It's done cooking on this side, yeah, but nothing else. Nick, what are you doing? And why are you adding butter to butter-aged Wagyu?
to bring everything back
Look
together
at this,
given
man.
what we did.
That's
I always like thinking
diabetes.
about this sort of thing
That's
with
like-
food, and this
that's
after all
like
is
$1 million
butter-aged Wagyu.
diabetes.
So why not add a little bit of butter
Yeah,
back
really.
into it once you finish cooking it? We don't
Because you already have butter in it, dude.
want it to lose
It
touch with where
has.
it came from.
It's raw.
It's
Where's the lamb sauce?
Where's the lamb sauce?
Who doesn't love a little bit of butter painting?
It's raw.
Nope.
It's
At this point, we
It's
can crack open
goddamn
those
raw.
eggs and hope
The
that we
thing's
nailed
still
that
moving.
perfect soft boiled egg. But
It's still moving. It's in cubes and it's still moving. Yo, what the egg doing?
trust me, if you followed the
The
6
egg
minute,
is
9
cracking.
second rule, you killed it. You simply crushed it. But either way, this is always going to be a moment of truth. So let's cut open into this bad boy and appreciate that delicious yolky runniness.
Okay, that's delicious.
why would you pick it up? with
Now
your
it's time at this
hands?
point to cut
Why
That-
just eat it like a normal person?
Yeah, still, that was gross, but it looks delicious.
up in one of
Show
these
me. Is it
beautiful
raw?
cubes.
I'm
But
gonna.
first,
Come
I'm
on.
not a. It's
we
like
absolutely
jelly.
killed
That's
the crust
obviously
on this
raw.
Wagyu. But more importantly, when I open it up, we have that nice
No, that's
red Wagyu,
definitely
which
raw.
we do
You
not
are-
want to
That's
That is raw.
medium. That's like
No, that's not.
that's
That's
rare.
not even
That's
medium rare.
super
That's
rare.
just That's just like, the thing's still moving.
you
cook
look,
any
it
more
pulsed.
than this. And you can tell that it's extremely.
Wait, I want to hear what he says. Hold
At
on.
this point to appreciate that delicious yolky runniness.
Please don't.
Now it's time at this point
Oh,
to cut up one of
God.
these beautiful cubes. But first, listen. We absolutely killed the crust on this Wagyu. But more importantly, when I open it up, we have that nice red Wagyu, which we do not want to cook any more than this. And you can tell that it's...
Bro, what?
Why? It's raw.
What is
It's
this?
raw.
What is this?
This is.
Huh? Whoopsies.
You give me a piece of steak and it's still moving, I'm assaulting you.
It's extremely juicy with a nice crust on it. Now, I can't really
I
help
want crust on your meat.
myself, so I'm gonna cut in and take a bite right now.
Dude, what did you cut off the
Holy
crust off?
I'm gonna feed you this
Why?
piece of Wagyu, and if you eat it, you're not fired. To close things out, I want to sprinkle on a little bit of black flaky salt over each egg, just to get some really
Black
Black
salt?
flaky black salt.
nice color and seasoning
I
on
thought
there.
that
And
was
then I want to
pepper.
plunge that beef right into that egg, really
What?
mixing it all together for one
God,
big delicious
that is
Wagyu bite.
real
That right there.
Wholesome. What's
Nick,
your name?
What are you doing, dude?
What's your Giorno? Yeah,
Nick
Giorno. You don't know what you're doing.
Giovanni.
Giorno. What? You don't know what you're doing.
I can tell you right now, simply cannot be beat, and I haven't even tasted it yet.
It can be beat.
Now, I know I've already talked a little bit about the
just
flavor,
put
but I
a
do
piece
wanna
of raw
quickly say
meat in
right
your
now
mouth.
that bite was something genuinely and truly special. Let's try it again.
It's not gonna give you salmonella because it's like
Sure.
considerably
Honestly,
cooked,
I
but
don't even
still, it's
know how
raw.
to react. That aged Wagyu has developed a flavor unlike qualities in Wagyu. Try. I know how to react. That aged it's absurd. Honestly, I don't even know how to react.
Not allowed to do that because I'm not Italian.
Fluent hand. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, yes, mamma mia. Oh, delicious.
That aged Wagyu has developed a flavor unlike anything I can describe. It's got these deeper, richer, more developed notes in it, with all those same amazing qualities in Wagyu. For instance, you still have that drippy, delicious fat coming off each piece of meat. I mean, if you don't believe me, just tell me what that is. Each bite is an explosion of flavor, coating your entire mouth in that amazing fat. And the great part about this fatty Wagyu is that it's so well marbled that as that flavor melts and goes around your mouth, it travels through every possible taste bud and gives you every bit of all of that flavor. That, to me, is the coolest part.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I'm gonna stick with my Kraft mac and cheese and black pepper.
Yeah, I'm good, dog.
But what
I don't want that like jelly-looking meat.
Changes on the Wagyu, and you taste them all very clearly. The way I describe it is like this. Aged Wagyu is far richer than regular Wagyu, in the sense that if given two pieces, you would want to have a little bit less of that aged Wagyu. The same way that if you sat a piece of Wagyu next to a piece of regular steak, you'd want to have a little bit less Wagyu. It's just too rich. Too much of a treat. What I will say is this was a very...
It's just too much in general, dude. I can't.
Dude, that's just like too much meat. And this guy's gotta stop, like,
slapping
spanking
stuff.
his
very
meat.
fun experiment, and I hope to do more like this. What do you want me to age next?
Gotta stop beating his meat.
And on that note, what do you guys want us to react to next? It doesn't matter. We'll take all your comments. I barely get any comments, so if you comment, you right there, yes, you. I'm talking to you. If you comment on this video right now, I will respond to you. All right, and I will do the thing you asked me to. All right. So we'll react to anything you guys put in the comments. If you're still here, that is. All right.
Accurate.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, smash, bash, crash that like button. Please, if you're new here, please do subscribe if you like this. Ingram, want anything? Do you want to say anything?
Don't beat your meat, kids.
That's right. Eat your vegetables, tip your waitresses, wear your seatbelt, and don't beat your meat. See ya. Jesus loves you. Bye.